In between attempts at fighting that last boss, I went out and tried to gather some equipment and gear in order to help me fight that boss. This video is going to be a montage of clips of all of those adventures and misadventures. So I'm trying to get a talisman back here at one of my least favorite places. The Erdtree Raphael brace of the whatever. There is a chest which contains a very powerful talisman that I wish I had. A legendary talisman, if you will. And this is the third time that I've tried to get this. The first two times, I died. For various reasons. Mostly related to game mechanics. So what I'm trying to get to is down there. There is a chest right there, which contains a thing that I want. Now, unfortunately, it is guarded by a number of kindreds of rot, who are the literal worst enemies in the game. So I am trying to work out how to deal with that. Because just jumping down there and swinging away at them is pretty much certain death. So I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I can use my new, Claws of Night. I doubt it. I'm gonna try to use a bow. I don't have very many. Nope. Keep clicking the wrong things. Make me some bone arrows, please. So it's very likely I'm going to die again, but here we go. Because of that, they keep doing that. Okay, maybe this will work better. I hit the wrong one. I'm trying to hit the big one, but I hit the little one. I mean, I'm trying to hit the little one, but I hit the big one instead. Okay, so far so good. Don't knock me off the edge, please. Heal. Now I think I can jump down. Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. And that's where I died the first, or the second time, actually. Okay, I'm taking a break from trying to defeat the Promised Consort boss at the end of the Elden Ring DLC, which is not going well, to put it mildly. That boss is redonkulous. I'm checking out a place that I missed before, which is the Shaman Village out here at, in the Scadutree area. I'm here because I went to a wiki to see if I could find some tips on how to defeat an undefeatable boss. And one of the things that they recommended was to pick up get a talisman that does really good faith resistance. Now, I have one, but there's apparently a better one here in the Shaman Village. So that's what I'm here looking for. So far, there aren't very many occupants of the Shaman Village. I think the wiki did mention a dead tree. And here's a blue item. It's the golden braid. It's exactly the thing that I'm looking for. Boosts holy damage negation by the utmost. A braid of golden hair cut loose. Queen Marika's offering to the grandmother. What was her prayer, her wish, her confession? There was no one left to answer, and Marika never returned home again. I also just recently picked up the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, which was another one recommended. So I'm trying to find basically anything in the game that will give me even the slightest bit of a chance to defeat that boss. I've gotten to the second phase 2 or 3 times, but the second phase is just madness, just absolute madness. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just picking up some extra equipment to see if it'll help. Probably won't. Probably will never finish that boss fight, because it's ridiculous. I'm never gonna beat that guy. Well, it turns out that I did beat that guy, but it took me 2 weeks to do it. And one of the things that I did during those 2 weeks was come back out here to the Cerulean coast and fight a Ghostflame Dragon. I did not record any commentary at the time, so I will give my thoughts now in a post-commentary analysis. Although, again, there's really not much to talk about with dragons. They're pretty much all the same. I'm actually not sure if the flame resistance helps against this ghost flame stuff. I switched back to my Crystallian Ashes just because I was trying to do as much as I could in this DLC without the Mimic tier. It's just that on the major bosses, it just feels like it's mandatory to use the Mimic tier. And we're off to a great start on this boss fight. A miss and immediately knocked down and hit with a tail swipe. And another hit. We're just doing great. I can't even hit the guy. I guess that's frost damage. So I guess frost-resistant armor would be the thing to do. I don't even know if there's a frost resistance talisman. I don't think there is, but at least I haven't seen one. But I haven't 100% Elden Ring, so there's things I'm missing. In fact, I was just watching somebody's Elden Ring DLC videos earlier, and I noticed some things that I hadn't gotten. I actually got this dragon knocked down But of course, it doesn't do any good to knock down a dragon if you can't get to the spot to do the critical hit in time. I switched to my lightning epee because it seemed to be doing better damage. And this is the point that I realized that he had summoned a bunch of skeletons. When his second phase started, I hadn't even realized that. And then suddenly they were all in my face. For some reason I could not even target the one that was right in front of me. Kept targeting the dragon in the background. I don't know what's up with the targeting in Elden Ring, but it seems like it's not ideal. It seems like it's worse than it's ever been before. Swing and a miss. Another swing and a miss. I'm doing really good at getting flattened. Walked right into a tail swipe. It's so frustrating how you can be like literally right underneath of him and swinging like crazy and just not be able to hit anything. Another swing and a miss with the lightning. I think that was the fourth swing and a miss with the lightning there. At this point, I just decided I'm just gonna stab him. If I can't hit him with the lightning, I'm just gonna poke him in the leg. Finally a hit with the lightning. Two more pokes and he's finally down. Great enemy felled. And I got a dragon heart and a somber ancient dragon smithing stone. And a bunch of runes. And I reminded myself that I did actually still know how to fight bosses. And then I continued on from there. I decided that I needed to get my Scadutree blessing up to as far as I could get it. I was trying to get it to 20, but I only ended up getting it to 19. So I went to a wiki and I just looked up the location of every Scadutree fragment and just started methodically tracking them down and collecting them. So there was one here on the gravesite plain that I missed. Carried by this pot guy. there was, this, I discovered that Moore had dropped a bell bearing, so I took it back to Round Table Hold and gave it to the Twin Maiden Husks, and realized that I had forgotten to give another bell bearing. Back to the search for fragments. This one, I think, is up near the, I forgot what village it, there's some village up on a plateau, I think. There's another pot guy here. And then I got stuck in a giant scrum with all these shadow people and dogs. For some reason, I was determined to kill all the enemies before I picked up the fragment. I don't know what I was thinking there. My foolish pride, I suppose. This one was back... this was a hidden sort of entrance here behind the rocks. I forgot what the place is called. I haven't played the DLC in as I'm recording this overlay audio track. It's been a while since I played the DLC, and I've pretty much forgotten everything in the DLC. But there was a hidden room back here with another Mikola cross. And a whole lot of man-flies. Bellerot Settlement, that's what the place was called. This was, near the place where you got that bone bow. There's another Scadutree fragment. And another item that I didn't realize was going to be here. A dried bouquet talisman. The search continues. Back near Morth Ruins, there is a little enemy encampment right across the road that I never really looked in. Turns out there's a fragment in there. And some enemies with some fire spears. I was trying to be fancy, and I paid the price for it. Turns out when you try to play Elden Ring fancy like that, you get punished. 9 times out of 10, you get punished for trying to play all fancy and not sensibly. This time I was a little more conservative in my approach. Still couldn't hit anybody though. There's the fragment. And a Fire Knight's cookbook that I also missed. The next fragment was near the big Ghostflame Dragon scrum melee with the soldiers. There's a spirit spring that's been locked, so I went looking for where to unlock it. Dispatched some bats along the way. Looked like there was a hidden spot behind this wall, so I went back there, and that's where the unlock is. Then it was just a simple matter to jump up the spirit spring to the top of the cliff. What could go wrong? I missed. And fell and died. I made the mistake of thinking that all of those jumps were just automatic. I didn't realize you had to actually... I'd forgotten that there is a small amount of steering that you have to do to get those spirit spring jumps to work right. I guess one day I need to go back and kill that stupid dragon, but I got tired of it. I tried it like 5 or 6 times before. It's such a tedious fight. So there's a whole area up here on the top of the cliff. I was just looking for a fragment. I wasn't really looking to do a lot of exploration here. So once these grave birds started attacking, I just started sprinting through the middle of them and just started running up the road to see where it led. There's like, what, 4 or 5 grave birds there? Then I saw the Mikola cross at the top there, and I figured that's where the fragment must be. And there's also a site of grace for some unknown reason. The Scadutree Cross, site of grace. And there is the fragment. Carved words coalesce. I abandon here my eyes. And some Empyrean blood virgins, I think it said. Next on the list was a fragment in this encampment here, where the big furnace golem is. It's right there near the entrance. So I just grabbed it and ran. Before the furnace golem started trying to kill me. Then I went back to a site of grace and turned him in. 3 got me 1 more blessing. Up to 17. 3 more got me up to 18 blessing. Then I went back out to see if I could find some more. I ended up in the the abandoned forest. That's not the right name. Whatever the forest is called. The Abyssal Forest. There's one just laying here under a tree. There's also another item over there, but I didn't pick that up. Well, I did pick it up, but I don't remember what it was. Nothing special. Then there's another one near the Morth Ruins. Another pot guy who's protected by one of these curse blade or death blades. I forgot what they're called. And once again, I got it into my head that I had to kill this guy before I went over and picked up the fragment. Which was quite silly, because these guys are really deadly. I remember thinking while I was fighting this guy, what if I lost? Would I lose that Scadutree fragment? Or would the pot guy respawn? Luckily, I did not have to find that out, and I beat that guy and picked up the fragment. Next on the list, there was one out near the river. Near where those grave birds were, and near that waterfall where the dry leaf gear was. So you jump down the same cliffs to get down to that waterfall, but you don't go all the way to the bottom. You stop at the top of the river. Like, you don't go down further there. That's where the dry leaf stuff was, at the bottom of that waterfall. But there's a whole other area up here, upriver from there, which I hadn't gone before. I kept missing the key to bring out my horse. There wasn't much up here except for one thing. Well, a bunch of poison flowers. At least I only saw one thing. Well, there's one item there. Somber Smithing Stone, Tier 7. And there's a open coffin here at the other waterfall with another Scadutree fragment. That's 2 more. No, that's 3 more. So that is, that gets me up to 19 Scadutree Blessing. I started to try to find more, but the last 3 are really hard to get to. I was having trouble finding them, so I just gave up at 19. And then I was wandering around some more, and I found a way to unlock that spirit spring that was near that furnace golem at the ancient ruins. And that led me to a chest where I found a mottled necklace, +2. So that was a cool find. Actually, the reason I was coming out here was to get this item here, which is a Greater Potentate's Cookbook, number 9. I wanted to get that cookbook because I think that was the one that has the recipe for the Greater Rot Pot. Right at the end there, I picked up another bell bearing. And that was it.